Oh, welcome to this Neptune Moon reading. So today I'm just want to take a look at some new books that I've just ordered. As you know, I've been working through, given the last couple of readings, just continuing on from that with the Thoth, the Egyptian god Thoth and his teachings, as well as the Hermetic principles. So I've been working through some of those things. Now I ordered some books. As I said, I'd read the Hermetic, the principles, the Emerald tablets, about a decade ago, a bit more. I cannot find where my original books are, so I ended up ordering in some new books. Now, here's something that's very interesting with the books. They've just arrived in. These are the two that I've ordered. Now, in the last reading, it kept coming out with Thoth. The card Thoth kept coming out, and then next to that, the Messenger card kept coming out. So I just want to draw your attention down here to the author of this book, Messenger. So when I saw that, I thought, oh, that's very interesting. I wonder if that means this is the book I'm supposed to be reading. I didn't even realize that when I ordered this book. It's just when it came in and I saw Messenger, after seeing so many times the Messenger card come out with the Thoth card, the Scribe card, I think that I'm meant to be reading this book. Now, let me show you this book. It looks very interesting. Big writing, which I love. Nice big writing there. I'll show you some of the, I haven't read any part of it. Free gift, meditation from Thoth. It's interesting. I might have to jump on there and have a look at that. Okay, so what we've got here is the history of Thoth, the Atlantean, the halls of Amentia, interested in looking into those things, keys of wisdom, the spaceborn, the Dweller of Anal. Now, these are very different to the original book, the Emerald Tablet book, the principles. It is a little different. Of course, the law of cause and effect is one of the principles. The key of magic, the 7 laws, the key of mysteries, the freedom of space, the key of time, the key of above and below, because the Emerald Tablet begins as above, so below. Becoming thrice great, which is Hermes Trismegister. He was called thrice great, and it's said to be, I believe, back from memory, Thoth maybe reincarnated back. It was something along those lines. It was, as I said, it was a decade ago that I read that. Secret of Secrets. So it looks like some really interesting chapters here. Some search terms, some powerful prayers, powerful words, some techniques, meditations inspired by the Emerald Tablets, how Thoth built the pyramids. Are you a key master of the Emerald Tablets? Interesting, some really good topics there to read. It's not straight up the Emerald Tablets and all about the actual principles, but it's lots of really interesting stuff, and I think that I am actually meant to read it. So this one should be, well, again, the Halls of Amenti. No, different again. Might even be similar. This is M. Doreel on here, and they do a little, in part of in this book, they do mention this author. So maybe this is where the original work from this book here. Again, it's very different to the work that I read over a decade ago. I read just the straight Emerald Tablets with the principles, which is there's 5 different principles. I think it's the principle as mentalism is the first one. It's all the mind. Everything's made up of mentalism. So, and then we've got the Hermetic key of, we've got the principle of balance, which is the duality. There is karma, which is cause of law and effect. There's a few different ones. I think there's 5, but as I said, it was over a decade ago that I did study that, and just off the top of my head, I can't remember them exactly which order they're in, but looking forward to reading this, and I'll let you know how I go with that. Now, the other thing that I've done is been working through some DNA upgrades. It said in my Celestial reading this week, which is my Celestial Gifts reading on my other channel, it said that I had to do the DNA work. I found some steps to do to reconnect your code with your DNA. I did it because the card said that I needed to be doing some work with my DNA this week. So I did that. And it says you may have vivid dreams within 72 hours. Well, I have had really interesting dreams, but my husband said last night I had the hiccups, very strange hiccups, very loudly last night. Now, I didn't feel it. I was asleep the whole time, and normally you would think hiccups would wake you up. It said it woke him up, and it was a very strange sounding hiccup. So maybe I was doing some internal balancing or something to do, readjusting or rebalancing with the DNA code. So not sure what that was, but interesting. So what I want to do today is just ask my cards what they think about these books here, and as part of my journey. So let's see, what do you think about the books that I'm about to start reading for the Emerald Tablet, as far as my journey goes? Okay, so I think they're just alerting me to be aware that I need to be open-minded when reading them, that it's not the actual principles like I read a decade ago. So there is some differences there. Symbiosis of silicon. This is AI. So this is a bit that talks about AI logic. So maybe there's something around AI here involved in that. Now it does say neurodivergent, so it's a different way of thinking about the situation. Okay, will they be helpful on my journey for what I'm supposed to be learning? Maybe a little bit of a distraction. This is the opposites, finding balance. So this is one of the principles, so the principle of duality. So I need to find balance between the two. So here, or maybe I'll be a little bit distracted with something else. So which is probably more like it. I need to find the time to actually sit down and read, because I do get distracted. I do have a lot of other things on, and one of those things is technology. I'm always working on designing. So having the time to do that could be one thing. Now, I want to ask the cards what they think about that new DNA adjustment that I done. Wisdom seeker, and it actually was about seeking wisdom, true wisdom. Yes, it was. Yes, so I feel confident about that what I done. It is actually the cloak full of it's actually what that DNA adjustment is for, not forgetting. So how we're mind wiped when we come in, part of that adjustment of that DNA is not being able to have your mind wiped, so being able to remember. Now, mind manipulation asleep, so that is a little bit interesting, considering that I had the hiccups while I was sleeping. What was going on with that? What was going on with the hiccups while I was sleeping? Do they mean something to do with my DNA? Awakening wisdom. And seeking understanding, so quieting the mind. So my mind in a sleeping state, seeking wisdom, could be about the seeds of creation. Okay, what is the next stage of my journey? What is the next stage? Where is the next stage taking me? Okay, so that card fell out separately. Again, we're talking about being aware about deception. And I know I do have to keep my eyes very open. Path of progress for self-betterment, which is exactly what I have been working on. Temporal nexus is indicating having to be aware of headaches for a start. Nexus, temporal headaches, but also being on the present timeline and understanding a little bit more about timelines here. Okay, so we'll pop that one away. Where is my journey taking me? So path of progress towards self-betterment. Remembering who I am. So exactly what I have been working on. Remembering, so that's remembering past skills that you have mastered in past lifetimes, and how those lifetimes are all simultaneous and happening and occurring at the same time. On maybe it's timelines that are different, but they're all occurring at the same time, depending on which timeline you're on. I'm still learning about this jumping back and forth here energy, but remembering who you are and being able to tap into mastered skills that you have in other lifetimes. Radiant sun, vitality, and personal power. So it is all things that I am working towards. What is it that I need to be looking at next? Now I am seeking guidance. That's what I'm asking the cards for. Seeking guidance as to what it is that I'm working on next. Where is my journey going? Simultaneous or simulation awareness? A reality weaver. Reality weaver. That's really interesting. Simulation awareness. The internal cycle of reincarnation. Now, as you know, the last few readings, they have been talking about that. That is something that I'm actually understanding and putting the puzzle pieces together as to what it all means. Saturn's discipline is all about working hard to craft your skills and put it all together. So being able to do the work to overcome obstacles or hurdles, to do the work to understand. So it looks like I'm still continuing on, working through timelines, working through the cycle of reincarnation and understanding what that really means. And looking out to not be deceived. So here I've got to be really open about what I'm taking in. And here simulation awareness, having your eyes open and being very aware of what I'm looking at. And the simulation awareness, being aware of that. Connecting and downloading spirit channel information. So I'm going to leave that there. I just wanted to show you what the new books were that I've ordered in since they arrived, and just how that was really interesting that the name Messenger is on that book. So I'll let you know how I go as I read them and bring you any insights that I'm getting from those books. So thank you so much for joining me.